went to the library because last week was my very emotional reading week of We Spread and the Dead Romantics, and I was like, you know what? We need some joy. We need some things that are going to make us smile and just feel good. So this week, I don't really have a set TBR, but I went to the library to pick up some things that I just feel like are gonna be a little cozy. You know, we can kind of see what I get up to. That's just what I'm feeling in the moment. Maybe later in the week, I'll want to pick up something that's more like thriller, horror-esque, but right now, I'm kind of just feeling some cozy, and nothing screams cozy to me more than graphic novels. Also, last weekend there was a graphic novel readathon going on for some people on YouTube, and I binge watched everyone's videos, and I was like, well, now I just feel like I'm in my graphic novel era. I don't know how long it's gonna last. We'll have to see, but I wanted to show you what I picked up from the library. So the first one is Garlic and the Vampire, which this just looks so fucking cute. I can't. His little face. Excuse me. He, she, they, I don't know. What's your identity? We'll have to see. Maybe it's just an it. Maybe it's just garlic. I have no idea. But the artwork in this one just looks so cute and fun. And even though this screams autumn, I just feel like I need it in my life now. So I got that one. I also picked up the beloved Sheath. I've seen so many people talk about this, and just these colors scream spring. It matches me today. That's just a sign, isn't it? Also, the artwork in this one is just really cute, and something about a ghost named Wendell. That's really all I know. And then this one is the Grimoire Noire. This one looks a lot darker, and this one looks totally up my alley because I love all things Tim Burton and creepy and weird. So I just feel like this one is probably going to be the most enjoyable. Will I read it this week? I have no idea, but I'm also very excited about that. I'm a very structured TBR kind of gal, but I also am such a mood reader, especially when I've come off of such an emotional reading week. I'm just gonna read what I feel. Even though I have my TBR for this month, I'm just gonna go with what I feel in the moment. A lot of that is what's on my TBR for the month, because I did put a lot of fantasy and cozy things on there, and thrillers can be cozy to a certain degree, so it just depends upon what I'm feeling. But I think the book that I'm going to start with is actually the Clackity, because this one has been sitting on my shelf for a few weeks now, and I have to return it to the library soon. But also this is a middle grade, so I know it's gonna be cozy. Even though it's a middle grade spooky read, it will still be cozy. And also this is just giving Tim Burton vibes. Are we serious? I am obsessed with this cover. I have the audio checked out as well, so I think we are gonna start here. This is just what I'm feeling right now. I could use a middle grade spooky to boost my mood, and then we will see how I feel from there. Happy Friday. I just clapped. I don't know why. Happy Friday. It is currently March 10th. As you saw, I was reading the Clackity, and I actually just finished it, and I'm in love with this book. It's so cute. This is a middle grade spooky story about this entity called the Clackity. And our main character, Evie, lives with her aunt, and her aunt has some like abilities, and they go to this place. Well, actually, her aunt goes to this place, and then Evie like secretly follows her, and her aunt gets like sucked into this kind of like other world. Not really another world, just kind of like an alternate plane almost. And Evie makes a deal with the Clackity to be able to get her back, that she must go on like this adventure and try to bring this well-known like town serial killer ghost to him. Sounds really weird, but it's really fun. And she goes on this adventure in this kind of other plane to bring her aunt back, and oh my god, it is so fun. It is so creepy and eerie, and it's so spooky and fun, but also just has like such a wholesome message about grief, about, I know, another one about grief, but like lightly about grief, but also about anxiety and what that feels like when it's first starting, and how to handle that, especially as like a 12-year-old, and like how to navigate those feelings as a 12-year-old. And I just loved that. It was so wholesome, so cozy, but also just so creepy and spooky at the same time. This very much reminded me of like a Tim Burton-esque, which like by the artwork you can tell it's very, I swear Laura Senf is like a huge Tim Burton fan. I just followed her on Instagram. I'm gonna do some sleuthing because I would be shocked if she's not, because this is very much giving like Tim Burton. Like there was a part in this other plane that reminded me of his version of Hansel and Gretel, which if you haven't seen it is one of the creepiest things you will ever see. So it reminded me a lot of that, and then it also reminded me a bit of like Coraline and that kind of thing. It was just so fun and so spooky, and exactly what I wanted after that last emotional week. Oh my god, I'm so happy I got to this. I'm going to buy myself a copy for sure, because this is checked out from the library. Sorry, the sun is like blinding me. Blinded by the lights. Yeah, I'm obsessed. It was so cute and so fun and cozy. So what am I going to read next? I honestly do not know. So let's go over to the TBR shelf. I'm having to like hunch down so you can actually see me, but this is like my current TBR shelf, meaning like the month TBR shelf. So this is like what I was planning on reading for the month of March. I do have another like TBR shelf up here, but anyways, this is like the March TBR. So I have some graphic novels that I could read. I also have another library checkout that I could get to. And then also, I feel like this week I'm probably going to read Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, because it's funny while also being murdery. And like that sounds like what I want right now. These other ones, I'm not sure. Like I'm not ready for How to Sell a Haunted House yet, because I know that that one also has to do with grief and like losing parents, and like we're not there. We need a couple of weeks to recover. I'm telling you, reading those books back to back was not the best idea. So could go with some graphic novels, could go with Everyone, but I think my next read is going to be a Psalm for the Wild Built. This is a like cozy fantasy, kind of sci-fi, I think, little novella. My books are about to fall down. An optimistic vision of the lush, beautiful world. A monk and a robot book. So this is a little cozy novella about a monk and a robot. And like this cover is gorgeous, but it's also due back at the library fairly soon. So I think this is going to be my next read. I think that's what I'm in the mood for before I dive into like any sort of graphic novels or anything like that. Let's see, how many pages are we? 147. I should be able to read this today. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to do that. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I think this is gonna be the next one. I'm gonna see if I can find the audio for this on like Scribd or... Oh, these Gosh darn sirens! I'm telling you, if it's not the construction, it's sirens. Anyways, gonna see if I can find the audiobook for this on Scribd, because I know it's not on my library, and if not, then that's fine. I mean, 150 pages. No problem at all. So, like I said, it's Friday. I don't really have any plans today. I might film a video. I'm gonna need caffeine first. I'm feeling very sleepy today. It's also already like 1 something in the afternoon. And just like, it's been a morning, you know? I've done a lot of things today, but like, I also feel like I haven't done enough. I don't know. It's very strange. Yeah, so maybe I'll film, maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm for sure gonna read this. Guys, happy Saturday. It is like 8 o'clock Saturday morning. It is rainy. I still have morning voice. I'm about to do a workout, which is the last thing I want to do on a rainy morning, but like I know I'll feel so much better afterwards, so I'm gonna do it. Today's chest day. I'm here for it. It's okay. But I wanted to give you an update because last night I finished A Psalm for Wild Bill. And this is so stinking cute. This gave me the same feeling that like the Wayward Children series brings me. Like these little short fantasy novellas are so cute. And is this really fantasy? Not really. It's more of just like a story of life. In here we are following a monk who kind of just like feels like his, you know, this is very much a story of like, you know, you feel like you have a purpose for so long in life, and then at one point, you know, later on in life, you realize that maybe like that's not your purpose, and you want to try and figure out what it is, and you're also a little embarrassed that like, you know, at whatever age you don't really have things figured out, and like, I felt really seen and heard throughout this book because I'm also kind of currently going through that. It was like, you know, I've had this path for so long and then I was laid off, and then it just kind of like makes you question things like, is this really what I want to do? I'm not sure. Is this really aligning with my goals anymore? I'm not sure. So it's very much like a book that brings kind of just the question of purpose and life and what you're meant to do and who you're meant to be in this book, and I just love that, but like in such a fun and cute way. You know, this is totally like me stereotyping too, and I caught myself and I was like, wow, okay, check yourself, Kyla, because when I hear, you know, a monk, I think of like a very spiritual, chill, kind of proper person, and in this book, like, our monk is just like lost, feeling it, swearing up a storm, like no holds barred, just like being real and authentic. And I was like, wow, okay, like I had this, I don't know why, I just had this like figured out image in my mind, and I thought that the robot was going to be a little bit more of the chaotic one. Totally role reversal, where the monk was the one that was like having all of these chaotic thoughts, and the robot was like, hi, how can I help you? It is so cute, And also, like, I love books that can make me check myself like that. Like, throw any stereotype out the window. Just because someone's a monk doesn't mean they have to, like, be prim and proper all the time and, like, be zen all the time and not have chaotic thoughts and, like, not swear up a storm, you know? Like, he was dropping shit and F-bombs, like, left and right, and I'm here for it. I love it. I love it. So, I really enjoyed this. I also just love the robot. It's so cute and sweet. And, like, here's a fun fact. I'm actually, like, terrified. I wouldn't say, like, I'm scared of robots, but, like, I'm scared of robots. Like, I'm scared for the day that, like, robots are integrated into our lives. Like, I cannot watch these people building these, like, real-life robots that are, like, going to be in our home someday. Like, I am not here for that. That is, like, no, absolutely not. I don't want it. It creeps me out beyond belief. But this robot was really cute, and I love him. I also just love the representation in this book. Dex is a non-binary character, and there's a really cute conversation about gender in this, because the robot is trying to figure out, like, how they identify, and also Dex, the monk, is trying to figure out, like, how does a robot identify? Like, what are you? It's just a really cute conversation, and, like, an important conversation around gender, and, like, not necessarily having a title, like, not identifying or labeling yourself, and, like, that is perfectly acceptable, and not everyone needs a label or a title or whatever. So there was a really good conversation about this, and I just love the way it ended. And there is a second one, and I definitely want to check it out. This is definitely one that I will be buying. I'm giving it 5 stars. Like, it just made me feel all warm and fuzzy, and also just so seen. There was a quote at the end of this: "You keep asking why your work is not enough, and I don't know how to answer that, because it is enough to exist in the world and marvel at it. You don't need to justify that or earn it. You are allowed to just live." And, like, yes, absolutely. Like, we don't have to go out and, like, seek all of these things, and especially, like, in the world of, like, social media and consumerism, where it's like, you know, I have to be doing this, or I have to be doing that, and I have to have that, and I have to have this. Like, you don't have to. You can slow down, and, like, whatever it is you're feeling, like, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to just live, you know? You don't have to be going all the time, or have all of these grand goals. Like, you're allowed to just exist in the present moment and just be there. Hi, I needed to hear that, and I hope that maybe resonated with you, and if it did, maybe this book is for you. Maybe you should pick it up and read the entire thing, because there are quotes like that throughout this entire book, and, like, yes, please. So, that's my update on that. I'm gonna go do my workout and maybe go for a walk even though it's raining. Well, I mean, we have to do our walkies with the dog. But I mean, like, me, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just work out and let that be it, and then just have some good breakfast. And I don't know what I'm gonna pick up next, but I'll let you know. friends. It has been a couple of days since I've updated this vlog, and if I look exhausted, I am. I've been up since 3:30 this morning, not on purpose. I woke up at 3:30 and I couldn't go back to sleep. And it's one of those things, like, you know, like the night before you have a flight, you like have trouble sleeping and you wake up like every hour on the hour thinking you're gonna miss your alarm. Well, we have what was supposed to be a major storm today. So my husband has storm duty because he works for an electric company, and he had to wake up ridiculously early, and I just like kept thinking he was going to miss his alarm. It wasn't even me that had to wake up, it was him, but I was just afraid that he was gonna miss the alarm. And so I woke up at 3:30 and then couldn't go back to sleep, and then so just exhausted. I do have a coffee made right now, thank goodness for coffee and caffeine. But I wanted to update you because today I finished Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. I've been reading this over the past couple of days, really like taking my time with it because there are so many characters in this book. I mean, really, like, everyone in his family is a character in this book. They don't all have a perspective. It's all from our main character's perspective, but like, I mean, there's just so much to keep track of. This isn't one of those like mysteries where you really do need a whiteboard with some murder string and like really trying to like piece it together, because it's like, it's so interesting the way this is told. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It's so interesting the way it's told. So, of course, we have this like British satire happening throughout this entire book. And if you don't know what this book is about Ernie. And Ernie is telling the story of his family and how every single one of them has killed someone, but specifically they're all away on this like family retreat and someone shows up dead, not someone in his family yet, but someone shows up dead where they are staying, and obviously, you know, they want to try to figure out what happened, who it is, and Ernie thinks it could be connected. His brother's getting out of jail. It's just like this whole thing. And it's so unique, and the way it's told, it's like he's speaking directly to you. And I don't mean like he's telling you the story like you get in most books, you know, the characters like telling their story. No, this is like he's literally speaking to you, like he is in front of you. He is the camera right now. He is literally like telling you, sitting with you and telling you the story, and it's so unique and interesting, and I don't know if I've ever read a book quite like this. I really enjoyed it, like I said, and it is British humor, which I so appreciate. I am like here for it. I love me British humor. There's so many moments in this where he's like, oh, like I wanted to say it this way, but my editor said that I had to word it this way or whatever. And also in the audiobook, it's changed a little bit from when you're reading it. So say he says something to the reader, in the audiobook it says, you know, to the listener, which I just really appreciate. I love when it caters to like how you're actually reading it. I think it's really cool. I will say I loved like the first like 100 pages of this. It did slow down a little bit in the middle there, but I feel like I'm not gonna fault it too much for that, because a lot of mysteries, I would definitely consider this more a mystery than I would a thriller. But a lot of mysteries do that, you know? You have to get a bit of a backstory. You have to get, you know, a little bit of character development in there to really appreciate the ending. Otherwise, you're just not gonna care. So there was that in the middle, and it was a little bit confusing. There is one chapter in here that he does a really good job of really explaining like who is who in his family. So like if you were taking notes, you could very easily just like write it down. You know, he's like, this is so and so and this is so and so and this person's married to this person. So there is one of those chapters that makes it like very easy to follow, but like there were parts that were a little bit harder to follow at the end there, because this whole backstory is also a little bit confusing, and you're like unpacking a mystery that happened like 20 years ago up until this point, and it's a lot. But despite that little like lull in the middle there, the ending, so good. I really enjoyed it. I love how he unpacked it. And there's also like this whole kind of reference. So Ernie, for a living, he writes these like how-to guides, like how to write a mystery, and he sells them for like super cheap on the internet for some people who like want to write books. And so he references things like Sherlock Holmes a lot, and I just felt like the way this was unpacked was very Sherlock. Like, I could picture Benedict Cumberbatch in an episode of Sherlock, like the way he like explains everything and how everything wraps up at the end is exactly how he explains and like wraps everything up in this book, and I just so appreciate that, especially, you know, like I said, British humor. I just feel like it really fit in this book. It doesn't always fit very well because, you know, I feel like when Americans try to do it or it's just like overly done in mysteries, it doesn't work. But because of this British humor, it is very Sherlock-esque, and I just feel like it really worked in this one, and I loved it. He also uses like a lot of words that I would associate with Sherlock Holmes, like, you know, deducing and deductions and like all of those things, and I just like, I love it. I love it. I love it. So 4 stars, not an overall 5 because like I said, there was a bit of a slower point there in the middle and I just wanted to get to the end. But despite that, this book is so unique in the way it's done, at least from anything that I've read before. So if you love a good mystery, you love satire, you love humor, you especially love British humor, and like you can appreciate a Sherlock Holmes kind of vibe, I think that you would really enjoy this one a lot. So what am I going to pick up next? I have Grimoire Noire. I hope I'm like saying that right. This is a graphic novel, but I feel like it's the perfect mood to read this today because it's like gray and stormy and gross outside, and this just like the vibes in this I feel like is very like stormy day. And then I think it's time that I start What Lies in the Woods. I've been wanting to so badly. I love Kate Alice Marshall so much, and I've been like eyeing this on my shelf, and even though it's a booktube pick for, I think it's a booktube pick for April, I can't wait. Okay, I can't wait, and I'm not ready to dive into How to Sell a Haunted House yet. I just feel like I need to finish out this week of like, I know I said lighthearted reading, and this is definitely not lighthearted reading, but like I'm just going with what my gut says right now, and I know that How to Sell a Haunted House still has like a lot of talk of grief, and she loses her parents at the beginning of the book, and like I'm not ready to go there, okay? I just want like a good thriller right now, and also maybe some graphic novel. So, I mean, I think I could read this and start this later. I think that's my plan. Yeah, so that's really my update. I think my husband just texted me though. Oh, they're letting him go early, so he's on his way home. Our text thread right now is like all gifts back and forth to each other. Does anybody else do that with their spouse? It's like you can speak without speaking, literally just can talk in pictures. That's our text relationship, and I just think it's the funniest thing. It reminds me of that Taylor Swift lyric, "You taught me a secret language I can't speak with anyone else." There it is. Reminds me of that. Cute. Okay, let's read a graphic novel. Hello, friends. It is now Friday. It's actually St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day. ZD. Oh, ZD. Oh, hello. Would you like to come say hello to your fan club? It's the problem of having windows that are literally dog height. You can see everything out of them. Anyways, it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm not wearing green. I should be. I'm a bad Irish. Anyways, I wanted to give you a reading update because some things have happened and I'm going to wrap up this vlog, so I figured I would let you know where I'm at. So, I am reading Grimoire Noire. I am, let's see, currently up to chapter 8, which is page 160. I have been reading this before bed. Something about just reading a graphic novel before bed is like the coziest thing ever, and it's like the perfect way to like wind down the night without getting without having to strain my eyeballs too much like on a page, because a lot of it is obviously pictures. There's a lot of text in here too, but it's not the same as reading a book, so I just find it like the perfect thing at the end of the day, like TV off, and I'm just in bed, curled up, and I'm just like engulfed in a graphic novel. And I'm having the most fun, but I'm going through it slowly. So unfortunately, I won't finish this in this vlog, but just know that I am really enjoying it. And also, I don't know how my rating system is going to be for graphic novels because I am still so new to them. I don't feel like I'm going to rate them. I don't even know if I'm going to mark it on my Goodreads. I think I might just keep a separate list on my phone and then maybe later update my Goodreads with it. I just don't want it to contribute to my reading goal quite yet. I don't know. I know a lot of people do, whether they read manga or graphic novels, like they put it on their Goodreads and include it in their yearly reading goal. I kind of want my yearly reading goal like just to be novels, books, and then just keep a separate list of like the graphic novels that I've read. I don't know. Let me know if you are an avid graphic novel reader, manga reader, whatever. How do you do it? Do you keep track of it? Do you not care? Do you like to keep it separate? Let me know all of the things, but just know so far I'm really enjoying it. And then I did finish What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. This was a super fast read, and I loved it. You could tell immediately if you've read a Kate Alice Marshall before that this was her writing. Her writing is so good. It's descriptive without being like overly flowery, and it's just incredible. I love her descriptions. I love the way that she brings emotion and her characters to life. While this wasn't anything like groundbreaking thriller-wise, I feel like it's kind of a basic thriller, and if you're an avid thriller reader, you're probably going to figure this out fairly quickly, or at least one of the twists fairly quickly. I mean, I had it pegged from the beginning. The first twist that happens in this book, I had it pegged from the beginning. And if you don't know, this book is about a group of friends who, when they're super young, like 10, 11 years old, something happens in the woods. One of them gets attacked, and they all say that it is this one man, and now 20 years later, or some odd 20 years later, he has died in prison, and now they're like, was it this man? We've kind of kept this secret. We may have wrongly accused him, kind of thing. And one of them wants to come forward, and the other two are like, hey, I don't know if we can do that. Like, what are the consequences going to be? And then things kind of start to unfold from there. What I do enjoy about this book is that there is sort of a podcast element to this book, but it's not like a podcast element, if that makes sense. So there's a character in here who's writing or conducting a true crime podcast, but it's not like in the audiobook, you don't get any of the podcast. It's not at the forefront. I love just like the mention of it and that it's in there, but I also love that it's not like copying every other thriller right now that's like integrating a podcast element. So I like the subtlety of it and just like what that character brings to the table. We also have just a lot of suspicious people in this town, and amongst the circle and like how everything went down is really shady. How everything went down when they were 11 years old and coming forward and, you know, describing what happened is very shady. And then what happens now is also very shady. Like everyone in these three girls' lives could be a suspect. Everything. And unfortunately something like tragic happens in the present day where kind of snowballs this feeling of like we need to come forward, and I just really enjoyed it. I also love that Kate Alice Marshall was able to integrate just like a little taste of magic into this. It's not like magical, this isn't magical realism thriller or anything like that. It just shows like the games that you played when you're a child and like how make-believe worked and that kind of thing. But like I love that she kind of integrated that and like wove it in throughout the story. I just felt like that was really well done for like an adult thriller. And overall, I had a good time. Like I said, it's not anything groundbreaking. It's not like this is going to be an all-time new favorite or anything like that. But I just love Kate Alice Marshall and her writing so much that like I just was here for the ride and just here for a good time. I'm trying not to be like overly harsh when it comes to things like this anymore. Like I don't know. I felt like I went through a time period where I was like dissecting every single thriller and like every little thing that happened and coming to the point of like not enjoying it. Now, I do think it's okay to not enjoy a book, and I have plenty of those for sure. But most of those now I think I would just DNF. But I'm also trying to just like go in with an open mind and have a good time. I think I'm gonna end up giving this 4 stars. Overall, like thriller concept, I feel like it could be a 3.5. But like I said, I had a great time. I love her writing. I love where it went, and I love how everything unfolded. So I think that I have to give it 4 stars. And that concludes this vlog. Overall, a great cozy reading week. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it encouraged you to kind of slow down a little bit. I hope it gave you some cozy feels. That was really kind of my aim for this vlog, was just kind of like, let's chill out. Let's just like read some stuff that we're in the mood to read. Let's read things that are going to bring us joy, and let's just have like a chill time together. So I hope you felt that. I hope you enjoyed it. I apologize for ZD barking in the background. If you did enjoy it, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe if you are not already. Turn on the bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
You and I, the future